the well, I can't say crystal clear, but compared to what it was yesterday, it is a lot clearer than it was a couple days ago, for sure. The pump is really nice. It's only on setting 1, and believe me, that's all we need. Any more than that, should be an overload. But it is sitting on a rock down there. See, it's sitting on a little plateau rock. It's not directly sitting in that sand itself. You can see the buildup. Definitely starting to clear up though. See some of that organic matter down there. And we're going to be adding logs, all kinds of stuff. Obfuscate. I have a log coming up, out one big gigantic log running down through there, or maybe running, I'm thinking about from this side over to that spot right there. Maybe if they wanted to, they could just come right in and on that, in and out of that log that connects to that little spot there. Basil's hanging in there. You know, we're only running on 12 hours of light right now, so we're nearly not, and we're not pumping a whole lot of light over. There's actually no light over in this corner. The light stretches right about that edge right there. We're still getting about 250, 300 on the ppm meter, so not too bad. There's Plinko sitting right there. Oh, Plinko. Cooter's over there. So yeah, if you've been following along, I mean, you can really see how much light is being obstructed by those huge monstera leaves over in the corner there. So it's like almost dark over there now compared to over here. And we are in day 53 of flower. We got some danglers going on in here. This one is about 2 weeks behind the rest, but still smells amazing. Terps. Definitely on there. This one up here, pretty good. And that, hanging out. Yeah, we're day 53. And, you know, we crashed the system. We really, if you haven't been following us, we crashed the creek system here, but we are coming back. It's definitely coming back. You can see the new grass that's growing on the edges. Got the green algae, that cyanobacteria growing on the edges. That's what we've lost. So now we're just gaining back. Oh, look, shrimp. I haven't seen a shrimp out in a while, so that's a good sign. The shrimp had moved into the pond because, you know, the creek is basically our filtration, and a shrimp is part of the cleanup crew. But if it gets too nasty in here, they'll move on to the pond, which is what happened when we changed the light. We had it too much far red in on these Grandmaster LEDs and lowered the white light too far, and we cooked off all our cyanobacteria, we cooked off all our green algae. Now we're getting this back. This is basically food for a lot of different things. Just about everything likes algae. Just take a little bit of that and throw it in there and mix it in with the soil. You know, last night we had our first episode 1 of Soil Discoveries. It was a great time. You can check it out on our live on my live, whatever it is here. On not Instagram, YouTube. I'm on YouTube. I don't know why I couldn't get YouTube out. Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Oh yeah, people like it. Yeah, people. I get my share of love, my friend. I appreciate it though. Yeah, it's definitely been fun, and we are just beginning. This one is only a year and year and a half, year and 6 months. This one we just started about 7 days ago. I think we're on day 6 maybe. Since we started the flow, but we've had to shut down quite a few times. But this side is for our food, so we're gonna grow food over here. I got a sweet potato here. We got some grass coming up. We need lots of grass in the creek. That's gonna clean our system for us best we can. We got a tomato that we transplanted in here. It hasn't really started to take off yet because we're still in 12 hours of light because of the flower, of course. So I can't really increase the veg time right this second. But we're day 53 over there, so I'm guessing we probably added like a week or maybe even 2 because of that crash. But yeah, whenever they're done, they're done. But they're getting there. Another, if I was to guess, 15, 2-3 weeks, and we'll be taking most of that. That small one there is going to need a little bit more time, but a lot of the tops that you see dangling over there, they're just dangling all over the place. They're getting nice and heavy and filling out. It's about that time too. Day 53, they should be starting to plump up, and they are. They're nice, tight, nice, funky as shit too. So we've been working on this. I think we pretty much, I like this setup. I like where these rocks are. These rocks basically change the splash pattern, and so you can see that we moved the log, but we have a splash zone basically right through here. You can see where it was splashing a lot right through here, and then over on the other side you see a wet patch. It's splashing a lot right through there. And we changed that splash simply by adding some rocks, changing or slowing down that flow. We can move different rocks to get them to get that splash how we want it. So yeah, it's just that simple really. It's simply moving this. It changes everything. We'll slow it down a little bit, and it will slow that splash. We'll also create a little vortex here, another little air trappage. You can see where the bubbles fill up. Forces that water to spin and go up in the hole here. You see it spinning. So once you really start understanding how vortexes and water work, and how water is truly amazing, and it can, if you structure it right, basically get it to, do as many waterfalls as possible, much air as possible. We create these little gold traps, these little pockets where it runs down, it'll spin up. We'll go around the other side so you can see better. But yeah, once you start getting deep in this, you can start looking at things a little differently. It's about a mindset change. It's just a little bit about thinking a little differently about what we're looking at. Here I've created this wall right here in this turn, so you can see I placed this rock here because it's got this cool lip. And what I'm thinking is we might move that a little bit more, but I think it's good right here where the water's coming. You can actually see it start to spin. Really hard to watch the particles on top of the water. They'll be spinning back towards that rock. So they'll hit that rock and spin. And that's what I'm trying to create is a spin. So, and then that stuff, some of it goes on by, some of it gets trapped in this little trap spot here where we place our grass, so to speak. I just transferred this stuff from over there. So I just pulled grass up, stuck it down in here. What's going on, everybody? I'm sorry I'm not paying attention to chat. It's really hard to keep up with all that and talk at the same time. I'm a little ADHD and dyslexic, and I got all those cool letters behind my name. But you can see what I'm talking about. Like, we could actually place more pea gravel, but it would just bury itself. If we dig down a little bit and create a little hole, that will change literally how that water reacts. We create that pool over there. So I'm just trying to create these pools as we go down, like ladders, like stairs. Boom, boom, boom. And that's what's going to catch all our poo. That's what's going to help us filter all the fish shit that's going to be coming out of the pond. And then it's all about adding that good cyanobacteria, the good, basically labs. If you know anything about lactobacillus or anything like that, here I'll show you. We've got purple non-sulfur bacteria. So you can use, if you know, most of us know Brandon Russ, it's Microbes Plus. So you can see right here, a combination of lactic acid bacteria, photosynthetic bacteria, and fermented yeast. So this here, we can literally dump right into the fish pond, along with purple non-sulfur bacteria. This is from iGrow Soil, from Mo. Check his website out, iGrow Soil. We're also sponsored by APSU, APSUsoil.com. They sponsor this video and all of my videos. So I appreciate Dennis over there, and he's got a great product. That's the soil we've used for all of this, is living soil mixed with this super soil. And yeah. So now it's all about balance. We're just going to balance the system. We're going to keep feeding it. Once we get fish in the pond, once this cycles and the water gets cleaned up, put fish in there, start getting the nutrient cycle going with the fish. A lot of that poo and stuff get trapped all through here. It'll then get wicked up the rock wall. We'll have some sand and silt on this edge. Once we get plants in here to wick that water up, we already know it wicks a tremendous amount. As you can see, I connected it right here. It stays wet. Whereas if we're disconnect, it gets dry, dries out, it stays wet. You can actually see the green cyanobacteria growing in that sand right there. Look at that green tint. That's photosynthetic bacteria. That's algae. It's life. That is what we want to see. So all of this that you see here is what that looked like when we first started. And over time, the worms and bugs and critters and run through it. I'll show you. So you can just pick up a rock. And this is where they turn it into all that worm casting. That's what it'll turn into. And it's these guys right here that are doing it. Those are dairy cow isopods, but also, let's zoom in a little closer. And you're going to see the real life, if I can get my camera to zoom. I think that's about as far as I can go. But we've got springtails, mites, I mean, all kinds of stuff. Look at the springtails roaming around. Now these are the guys, if you watched our show last night, You can check it out on my live feed there. It's posted now, I'm sure. But me and Mo dive a lot deeper than this. We go into the microscope, and you can actually see what's eating this. These little critters are eating and shitting, and then we can go deeper and find out what's eating their shit. So it's just a poop loop, is all it is. We got big things going to little things, but everything takes a dump. You know what I mean? And every dump has different bacteria, different biology, different food for different organisms to eat, and then eventually become nutrient available to our plants, which happens really fast, come to find out, if you set the environment right and give it a constant, basically compost tea. Is what we're doing over here, is what I'm trying to do, is create a natural compost tea. So just like everybody hears about compost extracts, compost teas, you put water in a bucket, you hang the bag in there, you bubble it for, it's all about the bubble, okay? It's all about air. I mean, you ain't got that air bubbler in there, you're not going to be growing fungi and bacteria and protozoa and all the good things that are breaking down nutrients in your soil. You're going to be growing bad shit, getting things out of balance instead of in balance. And how do you know you're going to be in balance if you're not testing if you bubble a tea in a bucket and then you're not scoping it or going in and seeing if it's, the good guys are there or not, then you could be just putting in bad guys. The bad guys turn into bad things, and we all know how that turns out. Not good. So this is a compost tea, a natural compost tea that we're creating with the fish. All that pumps up through here. We're bubbling in it as many times as we can. And it's going to cycle through here. The good bacteria is going to be eating it as it's flowing. It'll be trapped in the sand, silt, and clay in these turns, both edges. We'll be wicking that water up into the soil beds, feeding our microorganisms. We extend this stuff over the top layer of the soil. All right, and then the worms will come in and just devour all this sand and silt that's connected to this. So wherever it's connected, it'll be moist, and it'll stay that way as long as the flow is going. And we want to add more to this. We'll increase the wick. We want to decrease the wick. We just remove it. If it gets too wet, we just remove it. Put it back on top. Just disconnect. That's all we got to do. So it's a real simple system. It just has to be, the foundation has to be set properly. It just has to be, if we get too much water coming over, that water's going to run down the creek wall, down into our E horizon, down into here. So you see, let's see if we can get it focused. All right, there's our soil. You can see the clay layer. And then there's sand and silt, and there's about 6 inches below that clay layer of nothing but pure pea gravel, sand, and silt. Same stuff that's in the pond and in the creek. And the soil is sitting on top of the clay, separating all of that sand and silt where all that moisture is. So the soil, it's impossible for it to go anaerobic because it's not sitting down there in the reservoir. So it's basically like an earth box, but we're using clay, red clay, about a 2-inch layer to separate the soil that's sitting on top of this sand and pea gravel where all that moisture is being pulled, because this stuff wicks, it pulls water, so it will hold a tremendous, so you just imagine this whole bed underneath the pond, underneath the creek, everything connects, it's all one piece, everything sits on top of that 6 inches of pea and sand, clay, everything sits on top of that, so everything connects underneath. So the whole bed can hold water. If all of that water were to fall out of that pond and creek, it would all just sit down here. It has enough room so that here's the pond, rubber lining, all of this. That's about 10 inches So we can hold water all the way up to here. So all the water that can be put into there can be held in this whole system, in underneath, without sitting it in the soil. So I could literally pull all that water down into that hole right there, everything, and none of that soil will be sitting in that water. It'll all just fill up the bottom and rise up about 2 or 3 inches and just sit there until we get plants in here, and the plants will grow down, penetrating through the clay layer into the reservoir, sand and silt, and it's game over. They will wick for days at a consistent rate. All we'd have to do is fill the pond back up, flow, and we're good. It's a constant water system that's constantly composting, teeing, whatever's we're feeding the fish and whatever the fish are shitting out. So it's a food source, a consistent food. All we have to do is manage. Now, once we build it, it's just about managing the biology and managing the flow of water, making sure things don't get out of hand, like over here, making sure we don't fuck up the lights. You know, that's what we did over here, playing around with the cannabis. We were in flower. We were like, hey, red light, deep red, push terpenes. Yay. No. Everything down here says, no, that red light is a laser beam. And the water was literally intensifying it to the biology, just cooking off all the biology. All the algae disappeared. All the shrimp disappeared. Our cleaning crew basically got devoured. And then it's game over from there. You crash the system. It's basically taking away your filter from your fish pond, and you're going to eventually it's just going to build up and crash. You're going to build up toxins, and it's going to be the game over. In order to get around that, we need the good guys: purple non-sulfur bacteria, the photosynthetic bacteria. We make our own labs. You know, it's all of these things are beneficial. Like the purple non-sulfur, it loves to be in the bog. So it loves to be in the muck, in the swamp. And it fixes things. It creates oxygen. It's the fixer. It's down there with all those bad gases, we're killing off all our grass. It will reverse that process slowly. It just takes time. And you can see we're getting it back. That grass is growing back. Algae's growing back. Over here, it's got some grass growing in that algae. The shrimp eat the algae. There's the shrimp. Cherry shrimp. So yeah, it's really a self-sustained system here that you can really dial in, but it's brand new to me, so that's why it's so, you know, we don't know what we're doing right now. It's a learning experience, I'll tell you that. Trial and error is our friend. And I don't mind failing, you know. If it's got to leak, it's got to leak. We got to fix it, we got to fix it. If something's wrong, we're going to fix it. You know what I mean? There ain't nothing that broke can't be fixed. We hope, anyway. What do you think, guys? There's Plinko, big ass, prehistoric looking sturgeon looking thing. If you don't know what a sturgeon is, look that up. Freshwater sturgeon, prehistoric fish that we actually have around here in our rivers. What's going on, Coot? Look how clean that water is. Even the pea gravel down there looks clean. Look where Pooter looks like he's been digging in the dirt over there. Now the molly is over there just picking away. Two mollies. They do breed. I have seen them, but they don't. The babies don't last long. Sorry. They probably get eaten because turtles, Scooter and Scooter don't play. We'll play around. You notice we don't have any plants, any grass hanging down. Like the only plant we really got is this wire grass here that's right here. They don't really like that too. They pick at it, but they don't really like it too much. Other than that, those boys and girls down there, they don't allow plants. They like to eat a lot and crap a lot. What's going on, dang? Fazoli. Pumpkins do need a lot of water. They can suck up to 70 gallons a day. You know what I mean? Shit's fucking crazy. Can you imagine me trying to grow a pumpkin in here? It'd be like freaking a madhouse. I'm bad enough with the dangling fucking buds in here. Just dangling away. Fuck stringing them up. I strung up a couple of them, then I said, fuck it, let them dangle. Get light, just turn the light up. Turn the light up so we can get some of them lowers down there. I'm hitting about 1200 up top here. I'm probably around 600 down in here. But they look pretty good. I mean, for the crash, you know, I mean, they stacking pretty nicely. They're filling out nicely. They funky as shit. I know they got terps. Sticky, icky. They're starting to fill out. I didn't think they'd do that good, to be honest with you. Once I crashed the place, I was like, well, this run's done. But this raspberry deadhead over here is looking good. I mean, it's filling out. It's not the gnat sitting there, but yeah, not that bad. Funkalicious. Turkey is shit, dangling like a motherfucker. It's free balling like a bitch. Got that one just sitting over in the dog kennel. He's in the dog house. They're not getting eaten up either. I don't see any bug damage. It's just dangling. I laid that leaf kind of underneath of it, kind of prop it up a little bit. Fuck it. Free balling. Let's see, we gotta go deep down in there. So this is where I would put purple non-sulfur bacteria, up in there. You know, I dumped some in there, I dumped it in over in here, all up in this the slow moving water. You can see this is the, what is that? Lucky Bamboo. That was the original right there. And it sprouted here and came, oh, that's a corn stalk. And we got the Empress trees here. You can just pop a couple of these off. Don't really need. Got our ivy growing like crazy. Ivy's finally, I know that we're doing good. It's coming back when I see the ivy looking that shiny. That's very good, because it didn't look like that when we were going through the crash. Here's some more ivy really coming out. So I like the ivy because it's ground cover, but it doesn't, it really does, you can move it around, and then it gets to over to where it can root. If it finds a spot to root, which is on the edge of the creek, it'll root itself. It'll root itself in that spot and then continue to go. So that's the secret. The ivy is, we're just going to let it go until it gets to a point where we don't want it. Look at the terps on that thing. I'm telling you, man, it's terpy as shit in here. I didn't think it would be. I thought we could, I mean, you know, stress usually has But it depends on how much stress, you know. You can go to the gym and fuck yourself up too. But look at all the new growth. So that's a great sign. Like we're seeing shoots. Grass is coming back. Look at that growing. It's like a maple tree down here. That's cool. I appreciate that. I gotta put my glasses on so I can see the comment. I can see my mom's. Your mom's burner account. Oh yeah, yeah. I almost like it. Yeah. Everything in this bitch is gonna get smoked. You know that right now. I ain't come all this way not to. I don't give a shit if it is dirt weed at the end. I'm smoking it. And all we're gonna do is chop, 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 and replant. Boom, boom, boom. Hopefully, well, we got to start getting ready to plant some more seeds. We've got some great stuff coming. Actually, Huckleberry Hill Farms told me he's sending me a couple of cuts. And I'm supposed to get those in the next probably week or so, I hope. I'm not sure when, but soon. And I might run some of those cuts in here. We've got some taproot stuff. I've got some APSU, soil.com seeds. He's got his own seed line. I was going to pop a few of those. Yeah, we're just going to pop a few. Pick what we want and compost the rest. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. It's hot as balls out here, dude. My wife's out here. I want to check this out. This is my well, I don't know if it's IMO, but it's more like my mulch that I've been working on. You can see it starting to mycelium up. I'm gonna bring this inside. It smells good too, so that's telling me it's good. Bees, bees. Oh, it's so much nicer in here. Oh, it's like 98 degrees outside. Feels like it's like 110. Fucking nutbag hot. Jesus. I can feel the heat coming off this. Holy shit. I want to see. All that is mulch from around my oak tree and some Timothy hay that came out of the rabbit bin with a lot of rabbit shit and some FAA. Oh shit, I got the damn wrong thing. I want this. Let's see where we're at. No, she's hot. She's warm. I know that. Look at the mycelium building up around the edges. Eating that rabbit tube. That rabbit poo. We are active. We are active as shit still. this here, this is what will go on top of this. But right now, we're way too hot. We put it on, well, we don't have any plants on there right now, so, you know, as long as I don't get it around that tomato plant, we'll be fine. But I did just plant some grass seed, some wheatgrass around the edges. So, you know, we don't want to really put this in here until we get that temperature down into at least around, you know, the 80 zone, which is, it's about 78 degrees in here. So right now we're cooking right now, so to speak. We're cooking. You got a root in there right now, it cook. Might even need to turn it, but I don't know. Usually I don't have to turn. Yeah, it's nice when you can know how to do it, and it's really fucking easy. I mean, anybody can do it. You just need a little bit of property, or you go to the park. You don't need much of this stuff. I mean, I have a 30-gallon tote here, half full, but I also have 6 acres of land here that I can go rummaging through whenever I want. But you don't need much. Yeah, I usually turn, Dr. Elaine Ingham used to preach 120. So you can hold 120 for 4 to 6 days, you know, somewhere around in the 1 to 120 range, preferably 115 to 120. Anything over 120, we're getting into that, you know, this thermometer says 125. So, you know, give or take. You know, as long as we stay right there, we're cooking off the bad and keeping the good, so to speak. Down in there. What's going on, everybody? Ruins. Stank, yep. Mr. 420, Charlie, New Zealand stuntman. Oh, what's the Monstera doing? Oh yeah, let's go look at the Monstera. Monstera is our new leaf. The Monstera. Can you see the new leaf? It ain't new no more. She's almost full grown. Look at that son of a bitch. Beautiful. Like this one here, if you want to reference, this is the one it came off of. This one's 3 feet. So it's 3 feet from there to over here. So it's a monster. And there's more under. Just kind of wants to go wherever it wants to go. You know, we got big leeches resting down there. Come back there. Got our aloe back here in a pot. Gotta have an aloe plant. Gotta have an aloe. We got another Monstera here. She's shooting off a new leaf too. This is more of a viney Monstera, so this thing should start to just, which it is, starting to go. Stuff come on up, go this way, and we're gonna send it right on up the rock wall. Oh, you know what else we gotta do? That's what I do. Gotta dump that diesel. Get this in here. Keep this, so what I do usually is keep it covered. That'll keep that moisture in there, keep it from evaporating. And then I have a little butthole here. Oh yeah, get it down in there. We can monitor that. This real quick. Maybe this is full back here. I know I haven't gotten around to putting the hose in it yet, but I was searching for a hose the other day and couldn't find one that would fit up in there. That's why I'm thinking I might have to just buy another D-Hue, one that's got a drip line big enough that I can hook the hose up to, because that one's not big enough. It's made for like a ½ inch or some shit. And I was trying not to buy anything, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Or just go get a ½ inch, but really this thing, I just want another one of those, because that one works really well. This one was given to me by a friend. And I said, well, instead of buying one, we'll use that for now and see if we can make it work. And it works, just I want to run a line from here, like I did the other one over there, and run that into this hole here, dump that water back down into the grove. Just be our top off water. Keep the humidity down in here. Right now it's about 65. Temperature is about 78, 79. So BPD is probably around 115 to 120, somewhere, or 1.15 or 1.2, somewhere around in there. I'm just guessing. I'd have to look at my pulse meter, but that means I'd have to kill my live. So we put a thermometer in there. It's going to heat the water up a little bit. It's going to help our algae grow a little bit. And we have a heater over here as well. It's just set at 78, I think. Water temp usually stays around 75-ish, 76. Cold water helps hold oxygen a lot better than warm water. Plus, I want to keep it around 70, in the mid 70s. It's perfect. Shrimp like it, turtles love it, the algae loves it. Everything seems to love the around 75 to 73-ish. This is a Lunar cheese from Luna Whitcomb, from Luna All Day on Instagram. I think her website is moonbotanicals.com. It's so freaking weird, such a weird smell. It does have it's not really a berry, it's just more of I don't know how to describe it. It's extremely sticky. It is like a funky foot almost, like a cream that's gone bad, or like sour milk with a little bit of funk. It's really weird. This one is OK Calyx. This is that orange lean. This thing is tight and right, terpy as shit. Straight up, just berries and cream. It's orange lean. It's like cherries and oranges and just straight up fruit. As soon as you touch it, it's like, oh yeah, fruit. This over here is like, as soon as you touch it, it's like, oh, like a sour milk, funky foot. I don't know, all kinds of shit going on. That raspberry deadhead over here, this thing, I think it's taking the lead as far as the terpiness goes, because it It is extreme on the turp. So, I gotta go too differently, but I can smell it already just touching it like that. I mean, you can smell it out in the driveway. It is a OG, straight up OG, kind of vanilla-ish, pine-ish, rotten cereal, licorice. It's got all kinds of stuff going on in it. I'm really excited to smoke this, actually. This is going to be good. Pop off that leaf there. Yeah. Very OG. I mean, if you know what OG is, it's got that funky OG funk. But mixed with like a sour vanilla or like a, I don't know, it's got the berry there. It's the raspberry deadhead. It's like a raspberry OG. OG definitely. Maybe some burnt rubber back there. But very sticky. All of it's really fucking turpy. It's got to be the crash. Crash just, then we recovered from the crash fast enough to save the plant. So now the plant can kind of recover with the last little end of its life. And it really did push terps like crazy. I mean, I didn't have to really do anything but fix the crash. We did a water change, added some fresh sand and silt, and added in the fresh cyanobacteria, and that was it. Let it go. Hope for the best. And it seems like it, I mean, most of it turned out decent so far. No bug pressure, that's for sure. Terpy, very much. Yeah, solid white, yeah. What's going on, everybody? James JR, thank. Yeah, the 420, what's up? Charlie, New Zealand stuntman. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me today. Started a little earlier today just to see how the algorithm does, and I was bored. I was in here. Might as well just go ahead and go. Just gonna walk around in here and pick at shit. That's basically what I do. And I talk to myself, so I might as well talk to you guys. But this is the other raspberry there. Extremely terpy. Terpy, terpy, terpy. Save the terps. We had to save the terps. Getting that under canopy light going. Letting them dangle. Oh, 6:45, yeah, that's, oh, PM, wow, where are you at? Oh yeah, yeah, you got that going? Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, keep me posted on that. I keep everybody posted on that. What's up, Pooter? Go check my temperature over here. So that there is below 100, depending on where we put it. I'll bring it, I'll probably have it too low. Yeah, there it goes. Maybe shove down in there too far. Yeah, it works good, man. I'm gonna tell you though, if you're outdoors You know, it's all about the foundation. You got to set it. It's all about where that water's going to go. So if you're going to set something up, you got to use that enough pond liner, come high enough, build your E-horizon thick enough to be able to hold the water that you're going to have in your pond. So if a catastrophe strikes and all the water floods out of the pond and the creek, it'll all just sit down in that E-horizon separate from the soil, you know? So you just have to have that thick enough to hold all the water you're going to put in your system. And that's the big thing there. You don't make your section big enough to hold all of the water that is in the system, and you're setting yourself up for failure in the long run. You know, so I'm all about, you got to build a solid foundation, and it'll be there forever. As long as you want it to be there, as long as you set the foundation properly. It's like a skyscraper, you know, you wouldn't build it on top of a sandball or whatever, you know. You need to get the foundation on bedrock and come up from there. So as long as you have your pond liner, your rubber pond liner, I got it doubled up. This is 42 mil rubber pond liner, and then, you know, I just doubled it up because I had enough of it. And we brought it up, it's 10 inches. So the floor up here is 10 inches. That means that all of the bed 10 inches up is nothing but sand, silt, hilly gravel, clay, and soil sits on top of the clay. All the water that's getting wicked up can get wicked down. Once it saturates the soil in that area, it will wick down the creek wall, down past the soil, on down into the E-horizon, where it will fill up the reservoir and just wait for plants to uptake. So once we get roots going, the roots will then take over the wicking action and just wick. This is why we have, bush, we have trees, the cannabis is just here momentarily. When we cut the cannabis out and take away all these roots, like disconnect, you know what I mean? It's a rush of water in our trap hole. So we will literally get water in our trap hole like there is now. You see water down there. You can see hey. So that's where the water is going to sit. But what it's not going to do is set in that soil and make that go anaerobic. What's going on, Blue Moon? But yeah, that's the trick. The trick here is keeping the water, having a place for the extra water that you don't want. So you can just sit here and water the bed as much as you want, and all of that water is going to go run down the system, down, hit that clay layer, and then sleep through the clay layer into the E-horizon, separating it from the soil, and then the roots can go down like this here, like they're in that silt. These roots here are down in that silt layer. They're in the E-horizon. They're growing out of the E-horizon. We get roots, trees over here. These are empress trees. They're here all the time. They spread roots like crazy. That's how they live. They survive. But here's some that are cut out. But they live. They never die. Like they just seal up and then continue on carrying the root. Here's, this is attached to the creek wall. Roots always stay alive. So these are solar panels. This is pushing carbon. These are pushing sugars and carbon, all this stuff that the lights are providing. Hit here. That's the magic of the plant. Sends it down into the root system. Healthy roots, healthy soil. As above, so below. Shit looks like crap up top. It's going to look like crap down there in the microscope. D-U-R-E-A. What does that mean? Oh, you're talking to everyone. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was the original plan. Like I had a pump, and I specifically made this hole big enough where I could stick a pump down in there, and run a line out, and that water down there is clean. So it has a clicker on it that when the water gets up high enough, it'll just click on and click the water back. But what I found out is that it doesn't, it can just sit there. It doesn't, as long as it's not continuously filling up and filling up and filling up, you're good. And I found that the way, if that happens, you just disconnect your sand and silt from the edge of the creek, because that's where your wicking, that's where your water is coming from. It's this edge. And if you disconnect the wick, you disconnect the flow of water to your E horizon, and that's your valve, so to speak. So you use the clay. You can see how I've disconnected all through here, because I've got water down there. So I know I don't need any more water. So I just disconnect. You can see I'm disconnected. If I want more water, I can simply take some of this pea gravel out and put it in here and connect it back, like lines fresh sand and silt through here. Take some fresh sand and silt and line it back up, connecting it. It will wick that water into the soil on down into the E horizon, and it'll start filling up. Once we disconnect, we can notice that it'll stop filling up, and then we know we're at that point where we don't need to disconnect anymore. So I disconnected all through here. I disconnected all the way up to here, but I'm connected here. So you can see the worm castings that are. That's what the sand and silt turn into right here. It'll look like that, and then the worms get a hold of it and looks like that. So it's, your worms are going to run through that. See that? That's the aeration. So as long as they're there, the moisture's there, the worms are there. No, I never touched the root. The key to building a fungal hyphae network is not fucking with the root. We're building layers. So I don't want to touch the soil. I want the fungal network to connect. And the only way to do that is I just cut, all right, and plant. Cut, plant. I'll show you the old root. Here's the old stalk. It's being broken down as we speak. See, this is the old stalk from the other plant. The roots get completely devoured. It turns into like balsa wood. You know what I mean? Biology just eats it up. And this becomes food for microbes and for fungi, because fungi love wood. And you can see it coming apart in my hand. I can feel the grit, like it's coming apart in my hand. Like this sand, see that right there? That's silt. That is silt coming from this old cannabis stalk. So everything that's trapped in this silt here once was up there. And this plant miraculously turned that light into this structure. That's how amazing plants are. So if you look at it this way, things start to make sense. Holy shit, everything I need to feed a plant is in the plant. Like cannabis loves to eat everything that plant has uptaken, and if it's a healthy plant, what's left over is in this. And this can be chop and drop. Once it gets to a point where it'll just be broke, it'll just dust off. And the faster we break it down like this, the faster the microbes can break it down. We just drop it in there. But really, I can feel the grit coming off in my hand. That's what the worms are looking for. That is microscopic. Now, we put that on a microscope. Looks like something crawling around on my hand right there. But yeah, this is what we're building. So that dust is what I want. That's food. And what's trapped inside of this can be released by all the biology that's in here. That's what we were looking at last night. So it starts, up here. It really starts all right here with that light, sun. Plant traps sun, Plant figured out how to turn sun into energy, into sugar. Plant then figured out that microbes down here can be controlled and told what to do and when to do it at an exchange, but at a cost. You know, the plant said, hey, I'll give you this sugar. You break down this organic matter that I built for you to eat and break it back down to where I can reuse it. So that's what this is all about. It's a recycling system. That's why the earth is still here. It'll always be here after fucking floods and hurricanes and catastrophic events and extinctions, and still here, still breaking down. It's all because they are resilient son of bitches. They assist up when they need to. They go to their little homes and they wait for the conditions to get right again, and then boom, they're off to the races again. Look at all that. That's food. You want to know what to feed your critters? That's what they eat. They eat organic matter. And all this chop and drop down here, all this shit. The finer we chop it up, the faster it'll disappear. And it disappears fast. Believe me, real fast. These little critters down here ain't no joke. And the worm is just the first stop. The worm is just the first stop. You got diversity is where it's at. The more diverse shit you get, the more diversity you have. It's that simple. It really is that simple. It's so easy. You get a bunch of people together. If they're all the same people, they all crap the same thing, then that's not diversity. But if you get a bunch of different people, they're eating a bunch of different things, that like different meals, their crap is different. And there's a diversity of everything in there. So the plants have access, and when they have access, they can build sugar. When they build sugar, they become resistant to pests and disease. Nothing can fuck with them. Like, you get a Brix level up around 14 to 20, you're done. It's game over. Nothing can fuck with the plant. It has a force field around it of biology that is just impenetrable. Think about it as using the force. You know, it's a force field around the leaves, around the plant itself. Whenever a bug lands on it, it bites into it, but nothing flies off to the next. Finds the disease plant that it wants. If it's a weak plant, that's what's going. Like, criminals usually don't like, fucking with people who take care of their property. You know what I mean? Like, if you leave your door wide open, chances are your criminals are gonna walk by and walk right on up in there. But if you lock your doors and you put a force field up, the criminals can't get in. This comes with health. It's all about health. Building healthy cells in the cannabis plant. But in order to build healthy cells, you got to have healthy soil. So it's an exchange system here. It's all about currency and exchange. Like, can you give me sugar and carbon, and I'll give you the nutrient you need to grow big and healthy and build your cellular walls to the point where you can't be touched. Take care of Shooting Soil. Good to stop by. Appreciate you, man. Learn a lot. I'm always going to learn. I don't know shit about shit right now. I'm just talking out. I'm just talking what people have taught me, and I'm learning it as I go. It's so cool to have a community that will share this kind of information. Because I didn't know any of this stuff just 4 years ago. It's been 5 years now, but 5 years ago, I didn't know none of this. Like, I thought NPK was that I was buying bottles. I had no idea about, rhizophagy and rhizospheres and light spectrums and microbes, and all this is new. The system is new. Like, I built this because people like in the community gave me these ideas. You know, they just kept pushing diversity, and I was like, if you want a diverse community, you need to have a diverse atmosphere. You know what I mean? You need a diverse city, so to speak. You know what I mean? Each part of the city holds different. It's like crossing the tracks, man. One side is one way, the other side's another way. We need place. We can come and go out, search for food, come back, create a home over here, but forage over there. We're talking on a level here that's small. I love the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So, as a kid, I watched that. I always dreamed about being shrunk down and then riding an ant. You know what I mean? So, like, being in a system like this, you can imagine just shrinking yourself down. And if I was going to build a home, it would be right beside the creek. You know what I mean? I would be able to go fishing by the pond. I would be able to go rock climbing if I wanted to, or go hang out by the creek. You know what I mean? It's a diverse ecosystem that you have to have everything, though, available. If it's not available, they can't use it. So I'm just stewardship. I'm managing my city. I want to have parks. I want to have recreational things. I got to have a fire station. I got to have a police station. We got to have all these things that create a diverse, community, and then hope that everything, in the community gets along. But if they don't, then we just send in reinforcements. We send in people like purple non-sulfur bacteria and cyanobacteria and all the good guys that we know, and then really about just trying to make the conditions right for everything to thrive. The wattage we're using, I'm 245 watts right now per light. So I'm, 700 watts or so. And then those over there, I'm not even close to that. I'm probably running at like 150 watts a piece. So the wattage isn't too, the power bill has been really minuscule compared to what I thought it would. I might have raised power bill, but these probably I haven't had these long enough, or on long enough to even get a power bill yet. But my bill went up like $40, $40 to $60, depending on what month it is. We got the mini split over there running, and the DHU. That's everything else is just fans and pump. But the DHUs and the mini split are the biggest power grabbers. The LEDs, I'm only running one channel. I could crank them up. They're 1,700 watts a piece, and I'm pushing 245 on each. So I'm cruising at in first gear right now, and that's mainly because of the crash. I noticed that the white and blues and greens, and just cutting out the reds altogether, just seemed to be more beneficial to everything. So yeah, that's what I did, and everything just came roaring back. That land, the lights, that power. The power is everything. It's all about power. If you don't have power to create sugar, you don't have, terpenes. That's why it kind of boggled my mind when people turn off their lights at the end of the run. I was like, why would you do that? Like, there's no science behind that whatsoever. Not if you're trying to build terpenes, because it takes power and energy to build terpenes. And if you're just going to shut it off right at the end, each his own. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to build terps all the way till I cut. I want power going to the light bulb all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why you would cut it off and then, rest it, so to speak. There's no point in that. There's no science in that. That's all. That's true bro science right there, in my opinion. It sounds cool. I mean, it sounds, like it would be beneficial, but once you know how carbon is built and how terpenes are built, and you realize that, hey, it takes power to do all that. And if I turn the lights off 2 days, I mean, what am I doing to my creek? What am I doing to all my life? What am I doing to the biology in the soil or my cyanobacteria that needs light? They actually live off of light. They got different, size lights. They got different ones. They are, a little bit more expensive than most, but they're way more powerful. They're like having Ferraris, man. They really are. It's like having a Ferrari in the garage. You're not ever going to use all the power unless you're in a commercial facility. In my building here, I mean, there's no way I ever use all the power, but I have access to that power. But I also have access to this. And what I mean by that is I have 4 different channels. So this is why my power bill doesn't go screaming through the roof, because I can cut off what I'm not using. You got to remember, I have 1,700 watts at my disposal. I'm using 245. And it's because I can adjust the intensity here and only run one channel. And I can even turn that channel down to 50% and cut that down and lower this to like 80 watts. You know what I mean? But right now, 100% cool white at 40% gives me a PPFD at the top over there at like 1,200. Over here, it's around 900, and that's about where I want to be at this stage. Day 53, they can handle that light. Plus, I want to get more light to the danglers. So all the buds that are running along the edges of the dangle, the tops are hanging lower than the lowers now on the branch, so to speak. So I'm just blasting light to those lowers, trying to get those to plump up. So really, I'm dangling the tops because they're don't need as much light as the ones in the middle there. And we'll actually see, especially over here, we can actually see these start to grow. That was in the middle of this. So now that I've dangled it, this is getting a lot more light. It's going to plump up, give us a nice little top. This one too. So that's how I like to do it, just because I don't like a lot of damn lines running. I have a couple lines here holding the whole plant up, and then I have this down here, but this ain't even holding nothing. It's just holding itself, really. I don't even know why that's there. Maybe I could pull that back. Let's see. Nah, not that way. Let's readjust here. Let's readjust. Got it through the rock wall here. We got holes in the side of the rock wall, so maybe we could pull it. Damn, it's heavy. Boing, boing, boing. Triple D's, baby. Look at them hanging all over the place. Look at them hanging over the dog kennel. Thought it would let it sit just like that. Don't even need this line. Get some of this out of here. Keep that on down the river there. These are roots. The roots. That's what we need. Those are roots from the lucky bamboo. The roots go underneath this rock here, and then they're shooting around the edges. That's cleaning the creek. Every once in a while, you can see the roots down here. All this gets trapped in there. You just need to come through and clean it out a little bit. Run it on down the line. See roots in the water. That's how it's done. That's how it's done, son. This thing, it's getting a little, we're dangling. We are dangling. Still growing. I'm shocked they look this good, to be honest with you. I mean, they're tight little nuts, dude. Tight little nuts. Perfect size. Oh, plump. Woo. Makes me want to go take a tube. So, try and see if I can find digger. I don't know where he is. He was here. Damn, Monstera hides him so well. Up there. Oh, I see him. There he is. Trying to climb the wall. What are you doing, Digger? Digger! You hear me? Digger! Digger! Come over here. He hears me. He's just playing ignorant. He's ignoring me. He's already eaten. He had his isopod earlier. You see I got the wires up. He can't get to them. They're just kind of stretched across like telephone wires, power lines. That's what they are, power lines. They're stretched across there. I figured that's the best place for them. Instead of hanging them from the ceiling, having them just dangle all up through here. What's up, Cooter? Cooter. Looking good. Scooter over there. Y'all waiting, huh? You know what? I haven't fed them in it's been 3 days, 3 or 4 days since we fed them. Let's go feed. Let's feed a little bit. Holding just under where we want to be. Got 118. Let's go over here and get the... I probably should bring the food over here, but... What fun is that? Let's go grab a couple of nuggets here. This is just Platinum Plus. We use this outdoors, professional grade, koi food formula, high in protein, all that stuff. That's why I don't feed the turtles. They eat this stuff. It's fine, but mainly for Cooter. I don't feed Digger these. Digger doesn't get pellets. Digger gets isopods and worms and whatever else he scrounges up in there, but he's all natural. I just feed the goldfish, but the turtles get some of this, which they definitely enjoy, trust me. Alright. Let's see if we can get Pooter's attention without the turtles taking everything from him. on, Pooter. You're gonna miss out, buddy. There you go. Boom. We'll find it. There he goes. Look at these fools. They're like, where's ours at? Look at them. Over here, you fools. Hey. Over here. There you go. Wrong way, Scooter. There you go. You see how they come running? They're like beggars. I mean, they were like, feed me, bitch, or I will kill you type thing coming up that log, didn't they? You better throw some to us. Pooter got his, though. That's good. As long as Pooter gets his, I'm happy. But turtle, you see how aggressive they are when it comes to food. They don't play. There's a reason why they've been here 160 million years or plus. They don't play when it comes to food. They eat anything and everything. If it's dead, they eat it. If it's alive, they catch it, they eat it. To them, in their mind, everything is food. Your finger, just about everything you can think of. Look at Plinko over there. Plinko's almost the size of Pooter now. That thing was this big when we put him in. Like literally like my finger size. Now it's like half-pound fit. Look at it pushing off on. That's it. So if we feed the system, if we feed them every day, they would load this place up with poo. We would definitely have to filter out, put these filtration pad in there in the creek just to filter some of it out. The biology just hasn't recovered from the crash that much, and you don't want to feed turtles like that. They'll scrounge and eat algae and scrounge through all that rock, and they'll take care of themselves. But every 4 days or so, we'll throw some pellets in there for them, especially for Pooter. Pooter, if you don't feed them that often, they will clean the bottom of that pea gravel. They'll eat the algae off the walls. They will survive. And they keep the pond clean simply by not shitting every day. Giving the biology time to clean it instead of overloading the system. We don't want to overload the system. Which is easy to do, especially when you're cranking lights. And the funny thing is that you turn the lights up, everything seems to perk up. Or you turn the lights down, everything seems to perk down. That's like kind of like your gas pedal in your car. If you want to go fast, you want to feed more, turn the light up. Plants will make more sugar, and feed the soil more. It's really that simple. The plant is in control of most of this. You just got to have that conditions right. Set the stage. Create the community. Create the amusement park where everybody can come play. Everybody's got space. Water, food. Shelter, water, food. Isn't that the three main? First thing when you pop out, you want to suck on something. And then you're looking for a place to go, lay down. That's safe. Then, when you're done with all that, you want to go party. Time to party. Still hanging. We'll probably sit there for hopefully a couple days. It's been, well, I say a couple days. It's already been, damn, it's been 3 days now. I'm gonna pull it inside. Made up plan, I'm not expecting it to take off because we're only in 12 hours of light. So it probably thinks he probably thinks we're dying off. You know what I mean? He probably is like, hey, 12 hours of light, wintertime. I should be flowered by now. I'm not gonna make it. And our basil. I'm gonna plug my heater back in there. Probably don't need the heater, but basil's starting to put off new. That's good. I love basil. Put it on your pizza. Put it on your salad. Good stuff. Can't wait till I get the food forest in here and I can just come in here and pick me a cherry tomato. Pick me up some okra, maybe some peas, carrots. Might get me a squash in here. Just have a fucking squash plant over here. Just take over this whole area where we gotta have a machete to get around in here. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'll just do what I do over here. Just let it go. Just let it dangle. Look at all the buds. I love it. It's like, imagine coming down here and being tiny and walking around and looking up. Going, whoa, look at those. Like your oak wood. These are your giant oak woods over top of your forest. Pretty cool. This is my little aerator. So this is kind of like my moisture meter and my aerator all in one. And I can just stick it down in and just aeration, aeration, aeration. Stick it down there, pull it out. It's wet. You know you're wet. It's not. You know you're dry. Okay, pretty good. I can do this almost every day, it seems like, and then the next day, like, those holes will be gone. Like, it would just be like the worms and critters just seal it all back up. It's crazy how it works. And I can do this. I have holes punched down, come in here tomorrow, those will be gone. It'll just be gone. Yep. We could probably run our hand through that creek. See if we can release some of that into that pad. Got the Kimmy Pure bag here. Hello, sexy. Oh, look in my face. Oh, look at the isopod down at the bottom of the creek. Oh, where'd it go? I wonder if it's still alive. Are you alive? And it rolled up. Call it a roly-poly for a reason, huh? I think it's alive. Oh shit. Roly-poly gone. There's another one in the tree right there. Eating that poo. Eating that. Look at all the snails on this one. The snails keep that Chemipure bag from clogging up. They eat that waste that's catching on them. So we can just come through here, do this. You can see our algae is catching a lot of that. It's a great sign. I love seeing that algae grow. It took me a year to grow before. Now we're getting it thick. Comes back nicely. Put that right in the soil there and let the critters eat all that cyanobacteria. And just send this poo on down and let it cycle on through into that nitrate pad. This is all we got to do, really. Look at that algae. Yeah. So that's all I really got to do. Just run my hand through there a little bit like that. The algae catches all the stuff on the edges. We just run our hand through the center here and it'll all catch into that nitrate pad down there. Get caught in this here, or these roots from the lucky bamboo here. And what's left will go right in the pond, and the turtles and the fish will eat it. But a lot of the bulk will get caught right here. And then we can just take this out and water. But yeah, we just take this out to the water hose. We could inoculate a little bit of poo in here. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Just a little bit. Get a little poo in there going. Look at it. You can see it too. You can see all the first poo particles. And all that's going to do is this is going to feed the bacteria that we put in, like cyanobacteria and the labs and all that. This is just food. Just food. Hoses on. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's hot out here. Alright, now we'll just bring this back over here. I gotta go under my empress tree. And we'll just set this here. Some rock back on there. There we go. See, we clouded up a little bit with the fish. I mean, Hooter and Scooter and Cooter, they love that stuff. Hooter will just run around, just seeing what he can find. He's like, ooh, food, look at him. He's digging down in the rocks and stuff. And that'll all just cycle back around. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the thing. It wasn't scrolled down, so I haven't been seeing new stuff. Then I realized I haven't seen a comment in a while. And I scrolled over and I'm like, oh shit. Stirring the creek by hand isn't natural. What kind of critters could be put in the creek to stir up the poo? Well, there is a salamander in here, but you'll never see him. Salamanders hanging out down there. But no, it's not natural, but I'm not growing in an all-natural environment either. We are a steward here. This is not a hands-off situation. This is completely, we have to steward the bed. We have to remove things, adjust things change. If I just let things go, we'd have a mess on our hands. Like if I don't remove this, like the algae is here for me to remove. Like me removing algae is natural, but I have to do it because I don't have a filtration box. So I am the filtration box. So a filtration box isn't natural at all, you know? This is why I have such a diverse microbiome in my soils, because I'm merging aquatic and terrestrial. So these two worlds are coming together and you're seeing things under the microscope, and it's all about breaking down nutrient, breaking down organic matter into its humic and fulvic acid, getting that carbon down there. We have to manage the thing. We have to wash our car. You got to wash your ass every day. You know what I mean? You got to if you don't wash your car, it builds up dirt. You get rust, and your nice, pretty car turns to shit. It's just management. You know what I mean? You got to manage the situation here. Oh, the Turks are just unbelievable. Poop loop, yeah. Yeah, chickens eat everything. You just walk through a creek, that's not natural. Yeah, there you go. You're looking at, I see how you're looking at it though. You're trying to equate everything as, you want everything to be as natural as possible, and I completely understand that. And that's why I built this, because I had the same mindset. I wanted things to be as natural as possible. Unfortunately, when you bring things in, LEDs aren't natural. The HVAC isn't. We're indoors. I'm trying to grow year-round, consistently. I'll be able to come in here in the dead of winter and pick and harvest the fish, harvest tomatoes, squash, peas, carrots, take it to my grill and grill it up and have a full meal. That's the whole point here. I'll be able to harvest my flour, get my medicine. If we can grow good food, that food is medicine. So we're going to have our mental medicine and our physical medicine all in one room. And that's just the idea behind the whole premise. It turned out to be that actually this is a research facility now. You know what I mean? This is much deeper than what I ever thought it would be. So normally things like this, that I've never built anything like this, and I've never seen anybody build anything like this before. This was all straight out of my head. Like I saw the picture in my head, and I was like, there's a shrimp. I was like, we can build it. I can build that. There's a shrimp right there. So a shrimp's part of the cleaning crew. We get clams in here. I haven't seen a clam in a while. Probably buried in the sand. But clams, shrimp, um, all these things contribute to the cleaning crew. A turtle is part of the cleaning crew. They eat dead shit. That's what they do. I mean, they love dead things. They're like a buzzard coming around, cleaning up the dead carcasses off the road. That's natural. But we have people come around in trucks and pick them up. You know what I mean? Just so they're not laying dead deer all out in the road, because it takes time for these things to eat and break down. But anyway, yeah, it's as natural as we can get it. We have to steward, just like you would steward your garden. If you let your garden just go wild, I mean, good luck. Good luck. That's all I'm going to tell you. I've done that before. That don't work too well. And nature's more than just, sunshine and rainbows, man. It's brutal. It's actually a fight all the time. It's always a battle going on. Appreciate that, Hart. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun, and I'm learning. I hope everybody learns with me. I don't know everything. I'm not even close. Not even close. I just built something that we can all learn from. You know what I mean? I'm not nowhere near as smart as some of these people I've gotten in contact with. Just like Mo, and getting to talk to like people like Matt Powers, and just people who are in the depths of the research, and who actually are have written books and have extent knowledge on this kind of stuff. I want to put myself in touch with those people, invite those people on my show to get firsthand knowledge, like actually being able to see it on camera and actually be able to put it on microscope and have somebody there say, yep, this is that, this is this, that's what this is. Now, if you don't see that in your soil, now we can repair. We know what to do now to repair. So it's just finding the problem. We got to know what the problem is first, and then finding a solution to the problem. And the first thing we got to see it. I have to see the problem first. And if I can't see the problem, then I can't solve the problem. It's just that simple. And if we can see the problem in the microscope, and then find people who know what they're looking at, it's game changer. Game changer. We can solve any problem. Like anything. Like this thing, I didn't crash this thing just freaking 3 weeks ago, and then now I just have it bounce right back because I didn't know what I was doing. I had information, valuable information, from a lot of smart people, way above my pay grade, that led me in the right direction. Told me what was wrong. They saw the problem, and were like, hey, you're going to have a crash. Here it comes. And sure enough, all that can be seen and transferred down. What is as above, so below. If the difference here is that it starts down here first, and then we see it up here. So we won't see the problem start. If we can see the problem start down here first, then we can correct the problem and never really affect the plants. The plants can shut down, take care of themselves for only a short amount of time. They can't breathe, and they can't feed, and you're going to see problems. You're going to get nutrient lockout. That's what I did. I see the lockout. It's prevalent. You get burnt tips, you get curled leaves. Can be a lot of different things: overwatering, underwatering, too much light, all these things. But in this situation, I know what I did to create the problem. So therefore, I know that it's not any of those things. I know it's what I did with the lights. And that caused a chain reaction that killed off, and basically, in a nutshell, cut the airflow off to my roots from the water, and You can't breathe, you can't do much of anything. You damn sure ain't eating if you can't breathe. Hold your breath for a little bit. Tell me what you can do while you're holding your breath and how long you can do it for. It ain't long. You can go swimming, hold your breath, see how long you can go. You can go a while without drinking water, you can go a while without eating, but you ain't going very long without breathing. That's a fact. Unless you're David Blaine, hold your breath for like 10 minutes and shit. But, and, you know, some plants love the water. Some plants can no air right in the swamp, man. Drop them right in the swamp, they'll fucking take off. Most plants, the plants we're trying to grow though, they don't like swamp. They like air. They like to breathe. We don't want a swamp. But if we did, we got bog plants. Check this out. From APSU, inspired by the Great Dismal Swamp. So this is inspired by Virginia's Great Dismal Swamp, home of some of the most resilient carnivorous and bog species on Earth. So basically this stuff here is built for bog plants, which is why I spread a little bit out over here. It has a lot of aeration, a lot of sand, a lot of things that I don't know much about. But you know, Dennis from APSU, we're gonna have him on the show. You know, our show is every Thursday. Our first show was last night, but every Thursday night, 6 o'clock, or 6 to 8, we're going to have different guests on that me and Mo can have on and pick their brains, and go deep down into the soil with the microscope. This is Microbes Plus from Brandon Russ. You can see right there, combination of lactic acid bacteria, photosynthetic bacteria. That's what runs the show in this system. Not just that specifically, but the bacteria that is creating the oxygen. And then we need the algae to produce oxygen and be a filter for our creek and provide a home for our shrimp. The shrimp is now moved up there. See a little cherry shrimp right there? A bunch of them in the pond, but he's moved on up into the creek, and that's a good sign. That means our creek is clean if he's there. What I mean by clean is, you know, the oxygen content, the dissolved oxygen's right, the ammonia, the nitrates, the nitrites, you know, all the gases, all the fucking gases, man, that build up from your poo. And if you don't eat the poo with the bacteria, that poo builds up and builds up gas, and we kill off things. Things can't breathe. Power, air, water, suck, bang, blow, just like an engine. Kind of sounds familiar. Kind of sounds like my heart and your heart pumping nutrients as you eat. You got this tube, you know, that you shove food down. And that tube is connected down to in between your butt cheeks. And nothing inside of that tube is you. Do you know that? It's all microbes and bacteria, shit breaking down the crap you throw down your throat every day. Make sure you chew your food, because the bacteria really likes it when you turn it into like baby food. Y'all know what I'm saying. It's the same process. Pump, the heart, it's pumping. Veins, blood. What is this thing doing? Look at that. Look at them veins. Huh? What do you think that's doing? It's got to eat. It ain't got no mouth though. It's got these little, things. What do they call them? Stomatas or stomatas or whatever the fuck you call them. they open up and close if you see it on the microscope. You know, but really this thing is absorbing light, and it's turning that light into sugar and sending it on down into the root zone. When I eat my cheeseburger, I'm sending it on down into my root zone, where it can be dissolved acids and bacteria, and can then be transported into my bloodstream, where then I can take energy to talk to you and walk around here and do shit like this. Pretty much the same process. It's all mindset though. It's all in the mindset. These guys are just roaming around still. They're probably still looking for nuggets. They'll probably look for nuggets for like a week. Final water level in the pond. Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah, I mean, we could put some more in it. But, you know, we could probably come up another couple inches. But, yeah, we don't need to. I mean, right there, that's probably 100 gallons. 150 gallons, probably. 120, probably. I could probably put another 20 in it, 25 in it. It's bigger than it looks. 6 foot long, 2 foot wide, about 3.5 feet deep, but then I got about 4 or 5 inches of pea gravel down there. And the pump sits on top of all that pea and the rock, so it still has that much, you know. So it's quite a bit of water. And plus I want this nice waterfall here. So if I raise it up too much, I lose a lot of my waterfall. But we are going to come up, you know, a couple inches probably. And a couple inches is probably, like I said, 25 gallons, maybe 30 gallons. Plenty of water. This one over here is about the same size, maybe a little bit smaller, but not much. It's just built differently. It's like, I built this like a pea shape. It was like a kidney bean. This one over here, I didn't have room to do that. We just did a straight oval. Mainly because of the space. We didn't have much space. Here's some fresh water. We've got some fresh water. Any what? Any arm bristers or alleys? I don't know what you're talking. I'm not sure what that is. You know any arm bristers or arm? No, I don't. Don't think so. VA market is, to be honest with you, I mean, we got a lot of growers here, but they're probably still hiding. Some of them will come out. I've seen a few on Instagram. Digger does swim, but he doesn't really like to. But he did stay in the pond for like 2 weeks, swimming all around there. We got along with the turtles. While we were building this, he stayed in the pond, and he did fine. Yeah, if you research it, they are like, the box turtle is a pond, like, likes to hang around ponds. It doesn't live in the pond, but it likes the muck. It likes to be where it can dig into the mud and bury itself in the mud. And usually near a pond or creek is where they can get access to that muck and bury themselves down, get out of the heat of the day. He won't have to worry about that, but he likes to dig. So they need space and soil to dig. Like, he has a sandy area here underneath that log. And then it comes into more terrestrial soil in here, but then we put our mulch. So the mulch is just straight out from underneath our oak tree. We didn't do anything to it. Just brought it in from the oak tree and some chop and drop from in here, but just made it as natural as possible. Brought some moss in. You know, that dries out fast, but yeah, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. Look at him standing there strong. Strong boy. Huh? It's my territory. Standing there all bloated up like he's gonna do something. Feed me or get the hell out, is what he said. That's what it looks like anyway. I know he loves me. He only loves me though when I feed him. Any other time he don't love me too much. Just like these guys, see? They think you stick your finger down there, you think that they want you to pet them, but actually they just want to bite you. Dangling the worm down there, but they've already eaten. I threw worms and stuff in there, isopods. Black soldier flies will be flying around the light. This heat lamp right here. So we got a heat lamp, and then we got a T5 light here. So this T5 just puts off UVA and B light. I actually see Digger come over here sometimes, but Digger gets most of his light from the lights in here. This morning when I walked in here, both turtles, Cooter and Scooter, were both sitting on these. Scooter was right there, and Cooter was right over here. And I walked up on them, and both of them went boosh right into the pond. You know, that's why I can never get them on camera when they're sitting there, because they're usually in the pond long before. As soon as I shut the door, or open the door, really, they're in the water. So it really doesn't, I can't, it's hard to get them on camera right there. But when we get cameras, I'm going to be setting live cams up in here. So that'll be cool, get some live cams going. To be able to just probably YouTube it anytime you want. Or my website will be live. We got a website, YellowSkunkFarms.com. Got some shirts available now and some FAA. If you want to buy a shirt or you need some FAA. But other than that, that's all we got going on. And I'm hungry. What time is it? It is. It's getting close. 2 o'clock. I'm hungry as hell. I'm hungry as a hostage. So, we're about 2 hours in. I think that's pretty good. Oh, when am I connecting? As soon as I'm waiting on soil. So APSU Soils told me July 1st. So I got a couple of weeks where I get some more soil. We're going to fill this bed in. I'm going to raise it up. There's a little mound here. This rock here will be moved. And we'll just create a bridge right here. We'll just be able to come right on up and get on in here. We got to make it to where you can't get into the cracks and go digging down to China. You can't. We got lips over these here, so you can't come over here. We're just gonna have to make it to where everything, you know, probably maybe put another log or something here. We'll see how it works out. But yeah. I hope everybody has a great day, good Friday evening, and yeah, we'll see you tomorrow probably. Peace.